I feel like it's important that I do an interjection right here on language. I don't want anyone to feel like I'm sending the message that it's okay to use inappropriate language, because I do not believe it is so. However, what is important is that we as adults have to understand that children need to learn how to discriminate between settings. We learned how to discriminate between settings. We don't go into the classroom and we don't use bad language. We don't go to church and we don't use bad language. We don't go to the symphony and use bad language. However, it may be that if we're sitting at home and we've had a bad day and we're venting to our spouse or our partner or our roommate or a friend or mom or dad or whoever is listening, we may use bad language, and that is absolutely acceptable. That's a different setting. It's in a different context, and there's no judgment there. And I think what children need to learn is that they, in order to be successful in terms of functioning normally, they've got to learn how to discriminate between settings. So they need to understand that, you know, when you go to a ball game and your team, you know, scores a goal, it's okay to yell and scream and get excited and be like, woo! However, if you are at a ballet and your sister or brother or whoever, you know, has just completed this phenomenal pirouette or dance move, we don't scream. We don't do that. And so we have to teach them when it's appropriate to be a little more, we need to teach them when it's okay to be less conservative and more conservative. So that's where I bring in this point of using bad language. I think that if kids use bad language or inappropriate language, it's a good time to utilize it as a teachable moment and say, okay, we're in a place where that's really not acceptable. School is set up in such a way that this is practice for when you're in a professional environment. And when you're in a professional environment and you use bad language, there are going to be consequences. And as an adult, you don't want to have to face those consequences. On the other hand, I think it's okay and it's fair to tell the children now, when you're with your friends, you know, or maybe in a more relaxed setting, use that language. You know, there's no judgment here. And I would use that phrase, there's no judgment here, okay? Because you're going to have other teachers that are going to tell them, no, absolutely not. You know, we must conform. We must be, you know, prim and proper. And no, that is not how it is. People are people and people are dynamic. And I believe people have the right to be whoever they want to be as coarse as they want to be, or to be as proper as they want to be. It's up to them. So I don't think as a teacher, it is our job to tell a child what kind of person they should be. We need to accept them for who they are, and we just need to guide them into success in the society that we live in. So that's my stance on language and other kinds of conducts that may seem inappropriate, but if you take them out of context and put them, if you take those behaviors out of context and look at it from a more objective lens, then you might realize, oh, this child doesn't know. He doesn't he's not learning it at home. He's never been exposed to it. He's never seen it. So this is my job. This is my job to teach him this. And I have heard many people say this, and the wisest teachers, the sage teachers, the good teachers, the noble teachers will tell you it is far more important that we teach children social skills and soft skills and the importance of being a good, decent, kind human being than it is to teach them academics. And I wholeheartedly agree with that idea. That is so much more important than anything that comes out of a textbook or a curriculum. And I do believe that we are called, especially in this day and age with the things kids are exposed to so early, we are called to do that, and we need to do that. So consider that as you see behaviors that you think, that you personally think, oh my gosh, I would have never done that. I can't believe that kid did that. Oh, et cetera, et cetera. I say that because most of us don't have a clue how much we really don't know about the child or about other people. So keep that in mind and use that as a reference, a guide, a tip. But doing that may make the difference in such a way that a child will never be the same again, and they can be spared from a lot of grief later on down the road. So that's my interjection, and now we'll continue on.